that they took. I stay humble, I will not be shaken. My people is starting to wake up. Their minds scramble, need a shake up. They rewriting history, whitewashing images, forgery. It's all a conspiracy, crafty counsel from our enemies. They stole our identities, done away with our heritage. Had us working in the fields, broken, we can't get no settlements. So cruel, they took it too far. On them people that resemble Kadar. Perpetually, they really hate us, but we quickly coming out of our heads. We're the people, Shema, we're the people, Shema, Shema, Israel. We're the people, Shema, we're the people, Shema, Shema, Israel.
Shouts out to my people, miserable to straight hallelujahs. 400 years, better let it move ya. Messiah coming, better let it soothe ya. Whoever knew we would be great. On the slave ships, we were stowaways. Never made sense that we were throwaways, but it makes sense we hit fadeaways. We serving the ultimate power. The most high, get them hands high. He's running the ultimate hour. Same people eating that manna. No, we gotta get that bread. You know, raise lines, carry no manners. It's the true now, Lord in my head. Ironic, we grew up in wars. Projects, boroughs, in the ghettos. Between us, there's always a war. Check out Kings and the Chronicles. Brothers overseas, same movie. Escape out of Mitzrayim. Worship and praise out of our cage. Dancing is all in our dreams.
Shema, we're the people. Shema, Shema, Israel. We're the people. Shema, we're the people. Shema, Shema, Israel. We're the people. Shema, Israel. We're the people. Shema, Shema, Israel. We're the people. Shema, Israel. We're the people. Shema, Shema, Israel. We're the people. It's really going down. We're the people. It's about to go down. We're the people. It's really going down. We're the people. It's about to go down, down. It's really going down. It's about to go down, down.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, Facebook Live. Good morning, Breaking Strongholds Ministries. Good morning to YouTube. We're keeping it simple with Orlando, or Orlando keeping it simple. Good morning. How you all doing this morning? Happy Sabbath day, This is the day that the Most High have made. So let us be glad and rejoice in it. I hope that you have received everything your heart desire. I hope that the Most High have given you and your offspring everything that y'all wanted this week. I hope that, everything that He has given you, you have asked for in His name. Whether it has been peace, where it has been prosperity, where has it been protection, love, or whatever it has been, I hope you ask for it in His name and He has given it to you. My week this week, not saying that you care, but my week this week has been pretty eventful. I had some experiences that the Most High was taking me through this week. I had learned a lot during this day and time, because sometimes we can be so distracted with a lot of different things in life, and one of the main things we have to do is stay focused. Stay focused on the Most High, because it's a lot going on. A lot. When I say a lot. So let us go ahead and get started this morning. Exodus chapter 20, verses 1 through 17. And it reads, "And El spake out these words, saying, I am Yahuwah thy El, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other Els before me. And thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in the heavens above, or that is in the earth beneath. Thou shalt not bow down that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I, Yahuwah thy El, am a jealous El, visiting the iniquities upon the iniquities of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of Yahuwah thy El in vain, for Yahuwah will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of Yahuwah thy El. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gate. For in 6 days Yahuwah made the heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore Yahuwah blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy fathers and thy mother, that thy days be long upon the land which Yahuwah thy El giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not bear false witness, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor, and thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor. So let us pray. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us of our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thine to your kingdom, power to your glory, forever and ever. So let it be. Amen. Good morning again. Facebook Live, Breaking Strongholds Ministries, and YouTube with Orlando, keeping it simple. Yep, good morning. Yes, it has been an eventful week. It really has. It has been a moment. It has been some experiences this week. Yes, it has been. So if you could turn the word of the Most High to Obadiah. Obadiah, it's only have one chapter. It's one of the smaller canons in the Old Covenant. It has only 21 verses. And we're going to go with verse 15 through 18. And I'll just write something down real fast. Okay. Yeah, we're Obadiah chapter 15 verse 15, chapter 1 15 through 18. And the key, I'm gonna read the whole thing, but I'm just gonna read the key verse. Key verse is verse 1. The key verse is verse 1. Okay? And this, the book of Obadiah, okay, verse 1. Verse 15, it says, for the day of Yahuwah is near upon all the heathens. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thy own head. Let me read that over. It says, "For the day of Yahuwah is near upon all the heathens, as thou hast done. As equal to thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thy own head." Okay. If I give you some words for let me give you a couple of more two other verses too, to be able to understand that. Galatians 6 and 7. It reads, "Be not deceived, L is not marked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap." And also Romans chapter 12 verse 19. It says, "Do not avenge yourself, beloved, but leave room for wrath. For it is written, Vengeance is mine, and I will repay, saith Yahuwah." Have these two verses in mind when you're reading this, when you're hearing me. You reap what you sow, and vengeance is Yahuwah's. Okay? And then the word reap means to gather in by effort. Understand that effort of any kind. Gather the fruits of thy labor or work. Cut and gather a harvest. Cut or gather a harvest. And how you can be able to understand that a little better is, let me go to Joel chapter 3 verse 12. It says, "Let the heathens be awakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I set to judge all the heathens round about." Harvest, reap means to gather. And it says, "Let the heathens be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I set to judge all the heathens round about." Come up and gather. Okay? Season. A season means a period of the year, proper time, suitable occasion, season date, right moment, appropriate time. Matthew chapter 24 verse 37. "But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the coming of man be." Listen. "But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be." Days and seasons is the same time. And if I may give a title of the text this morning, it's about to go down. That's why I said what I said. That's why I said what I said.
Oh, wow.
It's about to go down. It's about to go down. My wife and I, we just got into a small spat because I asked her, "When you going to play another song?" And she said, "Well, you want to play another song?" I said, "No, you got to play another song." And I said, "You been looking at my notes?" She said, "Nah, I ain't looked at your notes." I said, "All right."
Wow.
Because that song goes great with the title. So the book of Obadiah, right? It's basically talking about judgment on Edom. The judgment on Edom. The judgment on Edom. But let me read you a little bit of who Edom is, because I think a lot of people who read the Bible, read the Holy Scriptures of the Word, do not really understand they're not able to decipher who is Edom, who is Israel, who is Judah, who is all these other nations. They're not able to decipher that because a lot of people don't open up the text and read it and research it and study it. They don't do that. They sometimes just take what the pastor say and go with it and then keep it moving. That's what a lot of people do. They don't sit down and study the word like they should. So, because they don't study the word like they should, they won't know who certain people are. Even though they may be listening to a lot of new people who's teaching the truth, they may still not understand because they don't buy the books and they don't research. They don't have a strong concordance. They don't have a lot of things that they need to just sit down to research the word. But in this book, it is called Who is Edom? This is Who is Edom, or Esau or Edom, right? I'm going to read you a little bit of who Esau is. Okay, it says the Jews of today fall within two main types, the Sephardic and the Ashkenazi Jews. The Sephardim are also known as Spanish Jews and constitute about 5% of the Jews in the world. Ashkenazis are the Eastern European Jews. Listen to that. The Ashkenazis are the East European Jews, which were found in Poland, Russia, Germany, and Western Asia. So everything that you seeing going on over there with Russia and Ukraine, those are called the Ashkenazi Jews. Ashkenazi is Ashkenazi. Ashkenazi. Nazi. Wow. The last four letters of the word of Ashkenazi is Nazi. Wow, didn't recognize that. Wow. Ashkenazi. And the last four letters is Nazi. Nazi. Wow. This group of Jews make up 90% of the so-called Jews in the world. Many references in historical sources have unequivocally identified the bulk of the Ashkenazi Jews were derived from a people known as Khazars. And that's in Genesis chapter 10, verse 1 through 5. The original Jewish Encyclopedia of 1905 revealed that the main stock of the Jews came from this Asiatic people known as Khazars. Khazars is coming out of the book, coming out of the Jewish Encyclopedia. Khazar is a people of Turkish origin whose life and history are interwoven with the very beginning of the history of the Jews of Russia. Historically, evidence points to the region of the Ural as the home of the Khazars. Okay? I'm going to read a little bit more and then I'm going to give you some ideas about how they think. The Khazars are a nomadic people who had no traces of Hebraic culture. They had been following a pagan and sexual-oriented religion until they had officially embraced Judaism in 740 AD. While rejecting Christianity and Islam, the Jewish author and historian Arthur Koestler also concluded that majority of the Eastern European Jews, and hence of world Jewry, is of Khazars and not of Semitic origin. Okay? So, when I was reading out of, where that book at? When I was reading out of I don't misplaced it. When I was reading out of the book one time, I forgot I misplaced it somewhere up here. It was talking about the Jews really not being the Jews. They're being of Khazar descent. But let me read you a little bit about how they think and how they act, okay? Their thought process. This is coming out of page 28 on who is the Esau in Edom. This is their thought process. Okay, it says, the genes of the Jews is to live off people, not off land, nor off the production of commodities from raw materials, but off people. This is their thought process. Listen to this. The genius of the Jews is to live off people, not off land, nor off the production of commodities from raw material, but off people. Let other people till the soil, the Jews, if he can, will live off the tiller. Let other people toil at trade and manufactures. The Jews will exploit the fruits of their work. This is his peculiar genius. Let me also read you something else too. Then it says on page 88. No, I'm going to go back to page 29. It says, the Jewish ideas has a tremendous infiltration force and a serious degenerative power. It is a very powerful disingenuating influence. It eats the substance out of the civilization which it attacks, destroys its moral validity, throw down its reverence, slap its respect for authority, cast a shadow on every basic principle. This is the way of the Jewish ideas works in American civilization. They have built their international power upon the exact opposite of the Mosaic laws. Then it goes and it says, let me read you something else out of the book. I'm not saying any of these things. I'm just telling you what the book says. Okay? Then it says on page 120, 112, it says, if anything, the law should encourage, not forbid, the intermingling of blood. But legislation cannot change the human heart. The only way we can accomplish that, the only way we can achieve a final solution to racial prejudice is to create a malingo of races so universal that no one can peer himself on his racial purity or practice the barbarianism to safeguard it. The deliberate encouragement of interracial marriages is the only way to hasten this problem. It may be that the time is growing short. The dominion of our world has begun to shift like cargo on an enlisting vessel. From the white race to the color, the sooner we adjust to this fact, the better it will be for our children. We might well acknowledge, even the most enlightened of us, that we will never completely eliminate racism prejudice until we eliminate separate races. This is their thought process. But let me go back and read you something. Let me go back to page 28 and I want to read you something. Then I'm going to go to the book of remembrance for a second. It says, the genius of the Jews is to live off people, not off land, nor off the production of commodity from raw material, but off the people, off people. Let other people till the soil, the Jews, if we can, will live off the tiller. Let other people toil at trades and manufactures. the Jews will exploit the fruits of their labor, their work. This is his peculiar genius. Now, when you go to the book of remembrance, in the boundaries of good and evil, page 379 and 378 and 379 on 104, 105 and 106, understand, this is the book of remembrance. Understand what he just said. Let other people till at trade and manufactures. The Jews will exploit the fruits of their work. This is his peculiar genius. That is the book of who is Esau and Edom, right? Now listen to what it says in the book of remembrance on page 378 and 379, 105 and 106. It says, the Lord said, not understanding that before the flood the righteous and the wicked were separate and developed independently from one another. But now, during the long duration of the earth, they will be blended together in all their living. So the division of the earth accomplished by your old father and the joining brought into being your old mother, both being strongly undergirded by the gentle guidance of Anchises, having given birth to a human social conscience. And it was those without conscience that were destroyed in the flood. Those that was, it said, and it was those without conscience that were destroyed in the flood. And in the same manner, the world is filled once again with the living dead in the end of days. The wicked will be destroyed by fire. Listen to this. Understand what he just said now, that they live off of the works of other people. Okay, and the Lord continued to speak to Noah with Noah, as they both sat together upon the earth. And the Lord said, Master of Seku, do not want to live. The master of Seku, the Lord said this, the Most High said this, he said, the master of Seku do not want the lives of people to be focused on their families and friends, but they want their lives to be focused on them. And they don't want them to find fulfillment in living out their visions of created purpose. But they want all those who they could persuade or compel to support them and live their life for them, and for all their success to benefit themselves as masters. So the people of the world today don't want us to live our own purpose and don't want us to live the way we want to live. They wanted us to live our life the way they want us to live so that they can benefit off of us. And see, I was talking to this guy yesterday, right? And he was saying, if you want to have a peaceful life, live interest-free. Interest-free. Meaning that if you can't pay for it cash, don't buy it at all. He said the only thing that you need to pay for in payments is a home. He said you don't necessarily need to pay for it in interest, because he said if you pay for it in interest, you're indebted to your slave, to your master, or to the debtor, or to the lender. He said because, say hypothetically, you bought a car for $45,000, and you financed it for 7 years or 6 years. 4 of those 6 years, or 3.5 years of those 6 years, you're gonna be paying interest only on the debt, on the car. you're not going to be paying for the car until after the 3.5 years. So the people who own the banks are actually living off your work and your labor. And so me and my wife was talking this week, right? And she was looking at my credit card bill. She's like, man, baby, do you know how long it'll take you to pay that credit card bill off? And she said it'll take you 15 years to pay the credit card bill off if you pay just a minimum bill, a minimum amount. People living off me for 10 years. It really won't take you that long to pay it off, but because of the interest that the banks make off of you and whatever you purchase, they living off of you. And who own the banking system? So that's why the Most High say you should not be a debtor as a slave, because we continue to live, we're paying the interest for whatever it is. He said, the man told me, he said, if you make one payment a year on a house, you'll cut your payment down you'll cut your payments down 2 years. I mean, you'll pay your house off in 15 years and not 30 years. He said, if you bought a house and you paid a mortgage, extra 1 or 2 mortgages for 15 years, you'll pay that house off before time and you won't have the same interest. And I already knew this. He said, even if you finance your house for 15 years instead of 30 years, do you know how much interest you cut out? And see, credit cards, car notes, everything, credit cards, car insurance, car notes, and houses live off interest. Every time you get a credit card, you're paying that's how people live off of you, is the interest that they gave. You think you're getting a good interest, but no, you're just getting a shorter prison sentence compared to somebody else. So when you're looking at Edom, it's telling you that their characteristics, or Esau, it's telling you that their characteristics is they rather live off you and not work at all. They rather live off your labor. They rather live off how you live, and they live lusciously off you. That's what they're saying. So that's why the Most High is so mad with them, because of how they did things. Even when you look at slavery, the slave master lived off the slaves, and the slave master didn't do nothing but just sit back and just tell people what to do, while the slave did all the work. That's living on somebody else's labor. The business owners sitting back telling the workers what to do, and the business owners ain't doing that. I understand that. So let's turn to the book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 15. Because it's about to go down. It's about to go down because of all the wickedness that's been put on the earth. Obadiah chapter 1 verse 15, and it reads, for the day of Yahuwah is near upon all the heathens. The word near means at hand, approach, next, more ready. It's right here, it's next, it's at hand, upon all the heathens. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. That's why it says you reap what you sow. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. thy reward shall return upon thy own head. What have these heathens done? If I can get 3 points today, the first point would be implement. What did they implement? What did they do? What did they do? What did they implement to have the same thing returned on their own heads? Let's go to Numbers chapter 20. Verse 14 through 21. Don't forget now, Esau and Jacob were brothers. They're brothers, right? So Esau should have looked out for his brother Jacob. Okay? And it says in Numbers chapter 20 verse 14, it says, and Moses, Moshe sent messengers from Kadesh unto the king of Edom. Thus said thy brother Israel. They brothers, he acknowledging that. Thou knowest all the travail of problems that has befallen us. He said, you know our situation. He said, how our fathers went down into Egypt, and we have dwelled in Egypt a long time. The Egyptians vexed us, punished us, and our fathers. He giving them the conditions now. And when we cried unto Yahuwah, he heard our voice and sent an angel, and has brought us forth out of Egypt. And behold, we are in Kadesh, a city in the uttermost of your borders, of thy borders. He said, we right at your doorstep. We getting ready to go somewhere, man. We trying to get to the land of promise, okay? I'm talking to you because you're my brother. Edom, you got this land. I need to go through your land now. I need you to help me out, brother. This is what Moshe said. He said, let us pass, I pray thee, through thy country. We will not pass through the fields, nor through the vineyards. Neither will we drink of the water of the wine. We will go by the king's highway. We will not turn to the right nor to the left. Until we have passed thy borders. Edom said unto him, thou shalt not pass by me, lest I will come out against thee with the sword. This is what Edom said. Edom saw his brother in the decapitated state trying to get from one place to the next. And Edom said, Moses said, let me go through your land, man. He said, nah, dog, you can't do that. Even though you my brother, I ain't going to let you do it. Even though you my brother, I ain't going to let you do it. You see how much hate Esau had for Jacob? The hatred is something, boy. In verse 19 it says, and the children of Israel said unto him, we will go by the highways, and if I and my cattle drink of thy water, then I will pay for it. I will only, without doing anything else, go through on my feet. Moses said, man, if my people do anything to your property, drink any of your water, we'll give you money for it. Moses said, the only thing I want to do is just go through your land. That's all. I don't want to do nothing else. And he said, thou shalt not go through. And Edom came out against him with much people and with a strong hand. Thus Edom refused to give Israel passage through his border. Wherefore Israel turned away from him. The second greatest commandment said, love thy neighbor as thyself. How can you say you love me who you never seen, but you hate your brother who you see every day, Esau? Esau, what he did, he didn't even allow Israel to go through his land. Even though Moses said, or Moshe said, I will pay for it if you let me go through it. But Esau didn't even want to do that. That's how much hatred Esau did. Esau didn't even want to help his brother in a time of need. Let's go to Joel. Joel 3, 7 and 8. Esau didn't want to help his brother. Joel 3, 7 and 8, it says, Behold, I will raise them out of the place whether ye have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head. But let's go to verse 6 and 7. It says, the children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their borders. What Esau did was he sold the children of Israel to the Grecians. Then it says, Behold, I will raise them up out of the place whether ye have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head. And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the land, into the hands of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabines, to a people far off, for Yahuwah has spoken. Now they're going to be sold off, right? Let me do something. Most High said He's going to sell them, right? Let's go to Revelation 13 and 10. Revelation 13, 9 and 10, it says, For if any man has an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. He is the patience and the faith of the saints. Okay? So, what Esau did to the children of Judah is he showed the people into captivity to the Grecians, right? He sold them into captivity to the Grecians, right? Okay. Yahoo News. It came out March 16th, 2022. Yahoo News, March 2022. March 16th, 2022. Women, children fleeing Ukraine being trafficked for sex. Reports are surfacing over women and child sex trafficking on the Ukrainian border. People are taking advantage of the situation and offering up services and hospitality, but then turn around and traffic for sex. There's also a high number of mail-order brides being requested out of China for Ukrainian women. That's an article. Let me see if I can find the rest of it. I can't find the rest. That's just a little bit of it. That's a snippet of it. Okay? That's in Yahoo News. Women's children fleeing Ukraine being trafficked for sex. And who they being sold to? The Chinese. So, what does it say in Joel 3? Behold, I will rise up. Verse 8. He said, Joel said, verse 8 in Joel, I will sell your sons and daughters into the hands of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabines, to the people far off, for Yahuwah has spoken it. Let's go to James, chapter 2, verse 3. No, 2 and 13, I'm sorry. It says, in verse 12, it says, so speak ye, and so do, as they that shall be judged by the law of liberty. For he shall have judgment without mercy. For he shall have judgment without mercy, that has shown no mercy, and mercy rejoice against judgment. See, what is it saying is in this verse here, the people who didn't show mercy when they had the right, when they had the privilege to show mercy and give proper judgment, those same people ain't gonna have no mercy. And see, Esau didn't even give us mercy when it was time for us to go through his land. Esau has never given us mercy. Even when you look at the crack and cocaine judgment, when people going in for crack and cocaine crimes, the people who did cocaine got a much lesser sentence than the people who did crack. They didn't show no mercy for the people who was on crack than the people who was on cocaine. The people who was on cocaine got a much lighter sentence. They didn't show the people over there with crack a lighter sentence. They gave them a harsher sentence. Even when you look at it today in the financial market, Hebrew people get a much higher interest rate than anybody else. We get a higher penalty when it comes down to crime than anyone else. We get put in decapitated situations more than anybody else. They don't show us mercy. But the Most High is saying, I'm not going to show you any mercy. I'm not going to show you nothing. See, that's why he's saying, see, when people tell us that, no, the Most High don't, it ain't no reap what you sow, it ain't no karma, the Most High gonna forgive you and gone, but no, they lying to you. You're gonna reap what you sow, brother. Let's go back to Obadiah 1, verse 16. Verse 16, it says, because Esau didn't help us, he sold us. He did all those things to us. He gave us, he didn't show us no mercy. He haven't shown us no mercy in the judicial system at all. But he gonna want it in return. That's why in the book of, in the sealed portion, it talks about these people, they're gonna be judged much harsher. Like the judges, gonna get judged much harsher because they didn't see the people who was in front of them as their brothers. They just saw them as an enemy of the state, just like the police officer who killing all these people. They're not gonna get a lighter sentence. They're gonna get a much harsher penalty because of the simple fact that they didn't use proper judgment. Obadiah 1 and 16, it says, for as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathens drink continually. Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they have not been. Let's go to Isaiah 42. Understand now about the Ukrainian women. Understand that, though they have never been. 42 and 14. And go to 13 first. It says, Yahuwah shall go forth as a mighty man. He shall stir up jealousy like a man of war. He shall cry, yea, roar. He shall prevail against his enemies. I have long time hold my peace. I have been still and refrained myself. Now will I cry like a travailing woman. I will destroy and devour at once. I will make waste mountains and hills and dry up all their herbs, and I will make their rivers islands, and I will dry up the pools. I will bring the blind by a way that they knew not. I will lead them in a path that they have not known. I will make darkness light before them, crooked things straight. These things will I do unto them and not forsake them. That last portion is for Israel. Okay? Because of what Esau did, he's finna get ready to receive and be ready to be destroyed. Let's go to Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes 8, 11 and 12. It said, because sentence against an evil work is not executed expediently, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. Though a sinner do evil 100 times and his days be prolonged, yet surely I know that it shall be well with them that fears Yahuwah, which fears before him. But it shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall he prolong his days, which are as a shadow, because he feared not before El. See, he getting ready to receive his judgment. And we don't even see, a lot of us who's really not into the word, but they just listen just to listen. If you're really not into the word, you don't see what's actually going on. I'm finna read you some stuff in a few minutes. I just read you some stuff about Ukrainian women, but I'm finna read you some more stuff too. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 44. Verse 22. It says, so that Yahuwah can no longer bear because of the evil of your doings and because of the abomination which ye have committed. Therefore is your land a desolation and an astonishment and a curse without an inhabitant, as at this day. Okay? Because of what they did and what they implemented, they gotta receive judgment. They women getting ready to be sex trafficked. Okay? I got an article. Ukraine bans export of wheat, oats, and other food staples. This came out March 9th, 2022. And it reads, I'm just going to read you a little bit. It came out of ABC News. Listen to it again. ABC News came out March 9, 2022. Ukraine bans export of wheat, oats, and other food staples. Okay. London. Ukraine government has banned the export of wheat, oats, and other staples that are critical for global food supplies as authorities try to ensure they can feed people during Russia intensifying war. Let me read that over. Ukrainian government has banned the export of wheat, oats, and other staples that are critical for global food supplies as authorities try to ensure they can feed people during the Russia intensifying war. New rules on agriculture exports introduced this week will prohibit the export of bulk wheat, sugar, live cattle, and meat and other byproducts from cattle, according to the government announcement. Banning of wheat and other supplies. Okay? Let me go to another article. This comes from BEN, Intel News. Okay, it came out what day? I don't see the date. Okay, it came out March 10, 2022. And it's called Western Balkan Countries Warn of Looming Cooking Oil Shortage. Kosovo will have a significant quantities of edible oils only for 1 month. The Prime Minister said on March 10th as of visiting the only edible oil producer in the country. The disruption on the food market came amid the economic crisis stemming from Russia and Ukraine conflict. Both Russia and Ukraine are major producers of sunflower oil, and the war in Ukraine is affecting the spring sowing season. While exports from Russia are set to be disrupted by Western sanctions and Russia counter-sanctions, just like those of grain, cooking oil prices are rising sharply. Some countries, including both in Macedonia and Serbia, have banned export of cooking oil to preserve domestic supply and price hikes. So now, you're not just going to have wheats and oats with problems. You're not going to have just cooking oil problems. Let me tell you something else. Independent. This came out on Tuesday the 15th of either what month, I don't know. It don't show the date. It said the 15th. Let me see. It don't give me a date. 15th of this month probably. It said Wisconsin will kill off 2.7 million chickens to stop the spread of lethal bird flu outbreak. Listen to this now. Listen to this. Wisconsin will kill off 2.7 million chickens to stop spread of lethal bird flu outbreak. Let me read a little bit of this article. An entire flock of 2.7 million eggs-laying chickens in the U.S. state of Wisconsin will be killed to prevent the spread of a lethal form of bird flu, officials said on Monday. The U.S. Department of Agriculture, USDA, announced that it has found a concerning strain of a flu at a commercial chicken farm in Midwest states, about 50 miles from Milwaukee. They said all the farm chickens will be destroyed in order to prevent any contamination of human food chain. So now every place that sells chickens. See, this is not just going on in just Wisconsin. It's going on all throughout the United States of America. And it's not just going on in the United States of America. It's going on over in the European countries as well. So, all these companies that sell chickens, they will be affected by these mass killings of birds. That's why it's so of a shortage of food today of chickens, because they get ready to kill off probably 10 million, 20 million chickens. And it ain't gonna be no eggs. I was talking to a young lady last week. She said anybody who drink lactose intolerant milk, it will be no longer in the shelves in certain stores. Jeremiah 44:22, he says, so that Yahuwah could no longer bear because of the evil of your doings and because of the abomination which ye have committed. Therefore, this is your land a desolation and an astonishment, a curse, without an inhabitant, as at this day. The land gonna be desolate, man, if you don't have no food. Ain't no wheat coming in, ain't no oat coming in, ain't no barley coming in, ain't no cooking oil coming in, ain't no chicken, ain't no eggs. What you got? What you gonna have? But let us go back to the book of Obadiah. Verse 17 and 18. And it says, but upon the Mount Zion shall be deliverance. Listen to that. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness. And the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall be kindled in them, and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for Yahuwah has spoken it. Everybody gonna get a reward. Whatever people do and whatever they implement, they're gonna receive the reward. We just have to understand certain things about life. And see, I was talking to my daughter yesterday, right? No, I was talking to my daughter Thursday, right? And I got upset with her because a couple of weeks ago, she was experiencing some stuff that she was going through some things with some people. And then once she went through those experiences with those people, none of them had her back. None of them had her back. They tried to throw her under the bus. But in turn, she turned around and trusted those same people again, thinking that she was cool with them and they was cool with her because they speak nicely to her. But I got upset with her because she did not understand her environment. I got upset with her because she did not understand the mentality of the people that she was around. She did not understand that. And when she did not understand that, I had to remind her of that. I had to remind her
of the environment that she was in. And see, that's the problem with a lot of us. We forget the environment that we're in. We think because people speak nice to us or throw us a bone that they're cool with us. No, they're just trying to reel you back in so that they continue to put knives in your back. That is the reason why we continue to fall and continue to be in the same situation, is because we forget the environment that we was in or that we're in. Let me tell you the environment that we're in. Let me read it again. It says, the genius of the Jews is to live off people. This is the environment that we're in. People wanting to live off us. Not off land, nor off the production of commodities from raw materials, but off people. See, if we have a short mentality, a short memory, we're going to forget that people want to live off us. And we're going to start liking those same people who continue to live off of us when they ain't doing nothing but using us. It says, let other people till the soil of the Jews if he can. We'll live off the tiller. Let other people toil at trades and manufactures. The Jews will exploit the fruits of their work. Sometimes we forget the environment that we're in, and we will continue to patronize and be friends with people who ain't doing nothing but using us. And that's why I got so upset with my daughter the other day, because the simple fact is how soon you forget 2 weeks ago you ain't had no friend. How soon you forget that they done gave a whole bunch of Ukrainians some money, some people at the border some money, and all the other people some money, but then now you're going to go turn right back around in November and vote for the same people who ain't done nothing for you. Ain't thought about studying HR 40. Ain't thought about doing nothing for you. But how soon you forget that they ain't done nothing for you, but you're going to run out there in November and vote for the same people who ain't doing nothing but using you. How soon you forget? But it's always gonna be it's always light at the tunnel. It's always a good day. The Most High he never broken his covenant with his people. Let's go to Isaiah 46. I'm about finished. Isaiah 46 and 13. Listen to this, because this is an encouraging message too, because even though, let me go to that way. It says, Isaiah 46 and 13, it says, I will bring near my righteous, and it shall not be far off. My salvation shall not tarry. I will place salvation in Zion for Israel, my glory. See, we getting ready to get our reward. We just don't realize it. We getting ready to get our reward. We getting ready to get our reward. That's something that we got to realize, but we got to continue to practice the law, statutes, and commandments. We got to continue to do that. Let's go to Psalms 16. Let's go to Psalm 16. Sixteen 8. I'm going to show you how salvation will come to. Psalm 16 and 8, it says, I have set Yahuwah always before me. Listen to what is being said. I have set, I have put, I have focused, I have kept Yahuwah always in my sight. I never lost focus. I always attended to his needs. I always studied his word. I have set Yahuwah always before me because he is at my right hand, and I shall not be moved. Therefore my heart is glad and my glory rejoice. My flesh also rests in him. A rest in hope. This is how we're going to get our reward. It's because we continue to study, read, focus on him. And see, it's a lot of distractions going on today. A lot of distractions going on today. See, the only way we could be able to understand the Most High's word and understand what's actually going on is that we got to set our face on Yahuwah. The reward. Let me show you something. Let's go to Exodus chapter 9. Verse 4. Because we're in the season of judgment, right? And sometimes people say, oh, we're getting rid of Jacob trouble, getting ready to go through Jacob trouble, getting ready to go through Jacob trouble, getting ready to go through Jacob trouble. I don't agree with that. I think Jacob done been through his troubles. Because when we look at Egypt, right? Egypt, the Most High dealt with Pharaoh. Then Babylon, then Syria and Persia, then Greek and Rome. During those time frames of captivity, the children of Israel was always in captivity. They never did prosper during those time frames. They was always still up under captivity. They was still always going up under hardship when they was up under captivity. Egypt is the first and Babylon gonna be the last. Egypt is the first and Babylon gonna be the last. See what it says and see when we look at the Egyptian deliverance, when Egypt was going through their captivity, it never affected the children of Israel. It never affected the children of Israel. It never affected the children of Israel. Let's read Exodus 9 and 4. It says, and Yahuwah shall sever between the cattle of Israel and the cattle of Egypt. And there shall nothing die of all that is the children of Israel. See, in the first captivity and the last captivity, the children of Israel never suffered during those time periods. They're not going to suffer. Because the simple fact is that they didn't suffer then, why would they still suffer now? They have done their service. They have done their sentence. They've done their sentence. They have been put through their captivity. So if you have done your sentence and it's ended in September of 2019, why would you continue to be punished after that time period? Why would you continue to be doing your captivity under the time period? Okay, I'm gonna go to one or two more. Revelations 12 and 14. And see, I had a brother friend of mine. He told me when everybody else was going through the judgments, he was walking to the promised land. He said lions were coming at Pete, they were coming at him, but the lions was eating them up, getting them and stopping him. They didn't stop him from getting where he had to go. And see in Revelation 12 and 14 it says, and the woman were given to wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness in her place, into her place where she is nourished for a time, times and a half of times from the face of the serpent. That's 3.5 years. So why would the Most High judge his people when he's judging Esau? His people don't did their punishment. But now it's time for Esau just to get his punishment. Not the children of Israel and Esau to get their punishment. Jacob's trouble is gone. Let's go to Exodus chapter 10. Let's go back to Exodus chapter 10 and 23. Exodus 10 and 23, and it reads, they saw not one another, neither rose any from his place for 3 days, but all the children of Israel had light in their dwellings. Let me go back to verse 22 first, so you can understand it. And it says that Moses stretched forth his hands towards heaven, and there was a thick darkness in the land of Egypt 3 days. So it was darkness in Egypt for 3 days. Moses caused it. Moses was like the El, and Aaron was like the Pharaoh or the prophet. Okay, and it says, and they saw not one another. That means that the Egyptian couldn't see what was going on in Israel or Goshen, and Goshen could not see what was going on over in Egypt. Then it says, neither rose from his place for 3 days, but all the children of Israel had light in their dwellings. So why would the Most High continue to judge the children of Israel after their punishment? Why would he continue to do it? He will only judge those who disobey the law, statutes, and commandments, but he will protect those who abide by the law, statutes, and commandments. Right now, what we're getting ready to go through is Babylon judgment, Esau's judgment. It's not our judgment. We just did our judgment. So why would the Most High continue to judge us when he's judging them? When it's not our judgment no more. Let's go to Isaiah. And then I'm done. Because our reward is safety. Our reward is protection. Our reward is being nourished. Our reward is getting what we deserve. Because he's going to give us light. He's going to give us food. He's going to give us protection in this day of their judgment. Because Ukrainians women are being sold for trafficking. Our women's been going through that. Now their women are going through it. Russia, now the food sources are being cut off. Not over in Africa or Jamaica or the islands though. They still can grow food because they got the climate to do it. Understand that. Everything they did to us now has got to be done. They caused war they wreak havoc on us for a long period of time through war. Now what's going on over there? War. They shedding blood of their own. The Pope came out and said 2 weeks ago, hey man, Putin, you got to stop this. You shedding too much blood. Isaiah. I'm about done. 60. I'm done with this one. 1 through 3. It says, arise and shine, for thy light is come. The glory of Yahuwah is risen upon thee. Listen to that. The glory of Yahuwah is risen upon thee. Isaiah 61 through 3. It says, behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people, but Yahuwah shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. And the Gentiles shall come to thy light, and kings to the brightness of thy rising. What am I saying? About your salvation. Your salvation is here. Your salvation is here. If you're abiding by the law, statutes, and commandments. If you're listening to the Most High's words. If you're keeping your eyes on Him at all times. Your salvation is here. That's why He said this. I have set Yahuwah always before me. Yahuwah is our salvation. See, me reading this book, who is Esau Edom, helped me to understand what was going on in the book of remembrance. Because the book of remembrance is part of Yahuwah. So, because He helped me, because I set my face on Yahuwah, He helped me to understand the reality of the world. And He helped me to be able to function in my reality. He's telling me, Orlando, if there's food shortages going on over in Ukraine, ain't no more oil, ain't no more chicken coming. Everybody killing off the chicken. What should I do? He's showing me these things. So what He's telling me to do? See, my salvation comes when I put Most High first and foremost. Can't let no distractions get in the way. Because it's about to go down. It really is. Let me read this on. Hold on. One more. One more. One more, y'all. Shout, give me a break. Shout, give me a shout. Yahoo Finance. March 24th, 2022. This came out at 1:53 p.m. Listen to this. Yahoo Finance. March 24th, 2022. That was Thursday. Biden says to expect real, real food shortage due to Ukraine war. That's what your president said. President Joe Biden said that the world will experience food shortage as a result of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. And production increase was a subject of discussion at a group of 7 meeting on Thursday. Listen to this. It is going to be real, Biden said at a news conference in Brussels. Let me read that over. It said, it is going to be real, Biden said at a news conference in Brussels. The price of the sanctions is not just imposed on Russia. It's imposed upon on an awful lot of countries as well, including Europe countries and our country as well. Europe countries. That's J-Fat. That's Esau. Ukraine and Russia are both producers of wheat in particular. The government has already warned that the country planting and harvesting has been severely disrupted by the war. It's about to go down. He said, including European countries and our country as well. Our salvation comes in keeping it and listening to the Most High. I did some antics, yes, I did, but I'm serious. For anybody who's been listening to me for the last 2.5 years, you know I've been telling you, get you some food, grow you some food, get your ammo up. get all this stuff ready. I told you why. It's about to go down. So let us pray. You just need to be ready, spiritually and physically ready. Your salvation comes with the Most High. This is an encouraging message because when he was judging Egypt, he didn't bother Israel. When he was judging Egypt, he turned out the lights in Egypt. Israel had lights. When Egypt food was bad, Israel had food. When Egypt was going through all the plagues, they was healthy. Understand that. Your salvation is Yahuwah. Get into his word more now. He all you got. Listen to his voice. He all you got. So let me pray so we can get out of here. Abba, as we come to you today, we thank you, we bless you, we praise you, we give you all the honor and the glory. Abba, we thank you for everything you have done and what you continue to do. Abba, we love you. We thank you. We just ask that your word just continue to be fulfilled. We thanking that it's going out and coming back none and void. It's coming back doing what it says it's going to do. Abba, we just thank you for just you. We thank you for you. We thank you for your strength. Sometimes the children don't like the whippings that they get, but Abba, they appreciate them at the end. Abba, know sometimes we don't like our whippings, but we know we need them because we done wrong. Abba, we just ask that you continue to just be a father to us, a spirit to us, to guide us and lead us and cover us and direct us. We ask that you continue to just to show us the way. We ask that you continue to speak to us with the quiet voice. We ask that you continue to just open us up to whatever it is that you want us to do and be. Abba, we ask that you continue to let us hear the way you want us to hear, see the way you want us to see, and speak the way you want us to speak. Abba, we ask that you continue to heal the sick, open up the sight of the blind, unplug the ears that can't hear. Let those who have the strength, let them walk. Abba, we ask that you continue to just let your will be done. Forgive us for our sins that we have done, knowingly and unknowingly, Abba. And our ancestors and our children and our friends. But help us prepare. Let us deal with the reality. And all these things we pray in Yahuwah's name. So let it be. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Happy Sabbath day. Happy Sabbath day.
We're people, Shema, we're people, Shema, Shema, Israel, we're people, Shema, we're people, Shema, Shema, Israel, we're people, Shema, Israel, we're people, Shema, Shema, Israel, we're people, Shema, Israel, we're people, Shema, Shema, Israel. We the people of the book. I stay humble, I ain't even boasting. I'm just here telling you facts. No more secret, it's gotta be spoken. We out here living a lie. 3/5, but they say that we equal. So put your hands up in the sky. Represent for the chosen people. Melanin, yeah, we got a lot of it. I can see the fear in them when they look at it. Lacking understanding, cause it's their nature. They don't fear God, but concerned about some glaciers. They always wanna justify, define themselves not guilty. Pride so puffed up high, living in iniquity. People. Shema, Israel, we're the people. Shema, Shema, Israel, we're the people. Shema, Israel, we're the people. Shema, Shema, Israel, we're the people. Shema, Israel, we're the people. Shema, Shema.